Sidney, what do you think about the rhetoric going back and
Well, it's tough. I mean, as a player, you just want to play. So this stuff is not what you want to be doing um, this time of year. So it's part of what comes along with it, and I think we all understand that. And we're hoping that hopefully within the next couple of days, we can figure something out here.
forth? If you were able to summarize, if somebody came up to you from on the street and said, summarize what this is all about, the two sides, how would you do that?
Jeez. You know what? Basically, I think when you look at things, it's a partnership, and when you look at our proposal, we clearly show that um, you know it's a lot of money. There's no doubt from both sides. It's a lot of money. So to try to put that in perspective is pretty tough to do. But that being said, I think if you just look at the key principles of everything, we're showing that we're willing to move and that we're willing to sacrifice things, and with our proposal, and with that, both sides have room to grow and continue to have success. And I think if you were to look at their proposal, it's not really the same type of feeling. I think you look at hard numbers, and there's not really a ton of incentives for players. It doesn't seem to address the key issues that we keep hearing are issues. So I think that's probably the best that I can do. But really, when it comes down to it, both sides have to be willing to sacrifice a bit, and I feel like our side is doing a little bit of that, and it doesn't seem like they're really willing to do a lot of that.
Renault? Sorry, go ahead.
If there is no movement, specific movement like Saturday, what will your Saturday be like? What will that day be like? Will you stay up to midnight to see what happens? Maybe monitor your cell phones?
I'm sure before that deadline that we'll know something, and just by the way things have gone, it almost feels like you don't want to say it, but it almost seems like this was kind of in the works anyway. It seems like for whatever reason, whether the league didn't want to, or everyone didn't want to negotiate against themselves, or whatever the case was, they weren't going to be really budging. You're looking at two different proposals, but I think in the case of ours, it's addressing everything that's been brought up as issues. So it's tough to say what that's going to be like, but I think we all kind of feel like right now it's kind of what they're looking for. So kind of dwelling on it isn't really going to change anything.
Renault?
Sid, you are, if not the most important figure as a player or one of those guys. You feel a lot of responsibility as a player to be here and to be involved in that process.
Yeah, of course. I mean, myself, like everyone else, we want to show our support, and besides that, I think just as a hockey player, you care about playing. You want to play, and you want to understand the dynamic and what you are standing for. I think at the end of the day, we are hockey players, yes, but this is part of it, and probably most of us don't like it. We don't enjoy this part of it. It's up to us to understand it and realize the ins and outs of everything, and that's basically what we're here to do. And you see a turnout like we had, you see guys that are interested, and that's not just because they care about finances and what they're going to get paid. They want to play, and they want to know what they're standing for, and I think they believe in it. So I think that at the end of the day, everyone cares and wants to play. So we just want to figure out how we can do that, and that's basically what we're here for.
John, Shannon? Sid, you talked about key issues. What do you think in your own mind is the key issue that bridge this gap?
Well, I think we've addressed that in our proposal. I think that the issues I keep hearing are, the small market teams, the teams that, seem like they're not able to survive in comparison to some of the bigger markets. So I think we address that in our proposal, and we showed we're willing to work with those teams to help. So I think that's basically when it comes down to things. And obviously, you're looking at concessions and percentages, and but I think when it comes down to it, I think we've shown that we're willing to give, but they also have to be willing to give, and it doesn't seem like there's a pretty hard line there, and they're not willing to budge. So it's really hard to negotiate anything when that's kind of what you're facing.
Right down front here, Sid.
I mean, do you have a feeling that right now it might be a battle between two different mentalities, and are you believing that the miracle is still possible?
I want to believe, yeah. I mean, you have to. You know what? You have to, and you have to be positive about things. And as a player, when you're training and you're practicing, the worst thing is having that doubt. You don't want that doubt because you train so hard over the summer and to prepare. And I know in my case, not playing for as long as I did the last year and a half, I obviously want to play. But I think you also have to realize that there's principles here, and you have to understand what's right. And I think we believe that what we propose is in that right direction. And if you're to look at both, yeah, they're definitely different. But if you have a non-biased opinion, you look at the facts. I think our mindset and the direction we're going is, I think, one that seems like it's a little bit more fair for both sides.
Michael Grant.
Sid, what message do you think it would send if a player of your stature were willing to go and play in Russia and thrive over there?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, that would be up to everyone else to decide. I think at the end of the day, we're hockey players and we want to play. We love playing, and if it gets to the point here where it's not looking like we're going to have that opportunity, then that's what we do. So we've got to find a way.
But is there a consideration, though, Sid, if you were to go over and play overseas, would it be hard to do considering you'd be taking the job from somebody else? Somebody else is obviously not making as much money as you over here.
I think everyone has a different opinion about that. My opinion would be, I'm a hockey player, and it's a competitive business, and would I look forward to that opportunity of taking someone's job? No, but at the end of the day, I am a hockey player, so I think we all work hard, just like everyone else, and want to play. So, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Sports Illustrated back here.
At this point, how optimistic are you that you'll have a full season?
Depends when we can start a full season or what that kind of deadline is. I'm not sure. Right now, it's not looking great, but I think, like Don said, things can change pretty quickly, and we really don't know how it's going to pan out here. I know there's some meetings here, Board of Governors this week, so things may change a bit, but I don't think that right now I don't think it's looking like we're going to start on time. But that being said, if things get pushed back a little bit, we could still have a full season. So it just depends on what that date is.
Kevin Allen, you're sick today.
Yeah, Sid, one of the themes of talking to the players out there has been the steady stream of communication that you guys have had. There seems to be a lot more knowledge about the issues that we've had in the previous lockout. I wonder if you could talk about Donald Fear's contributions to that.
Yeah, I think he's been just committed to that, and I think a lot of it has to do with just preparation, not just all of a sudden a month before now saying, hey guys, come to a couple meetings. I mean, this has been, a year and a half of, a year of, preparing guys, making them understand the process and, how things work, and letting them know that it's important to be part of it and to understand what's going on. So I think a lot of that has to do with his preparation more so than just trying to throw guys together last minute. I think the reason you're seeing guys show up is because, yes, they're eager to find out what's going on, but also they understand it, and understanding it, it gives you an opportunity to kind of believe it and, probably stand for it a little bit more.
Okay, Chris Johnson here, and then we got to go because Sid's got some things to get to, and I know you guys want to go to the Board of Governors for all this.
Sid, feeling like inevitability, as you said, or that seemed to be in the works. How seriously have you looked at your other options?
Whether that's been the case or not, that doesn't really affect as far as looking at other options, I think you want to really get an idea or the next few weeks for where things are headed, and hopefully we get closer and closer, and it's not something you have to think about. But that's not a decision you just all of a sudden, I'm going to pack my bags and go somewhere. No, not like that at all. So I think, you want to be optimistic, and you want to think, what, maybe it's not this week, maybe it's next week that something will happen. So, give it some time and see what happens.
Okay, last one. So obviously, I guess Sweden just losing Italy would be a league they would consider. As of right now, they have closed for NHL players. Do you see that as a problem? And have you ever opinion about the league just closing for you guys?
I mean, they can do whatever they want. So I mean, that's that's just the way things are. We can't change that as a player. As a player, you got to make the best decision for yourself and your situation and wherever that is. So if that's the case, then I'm sure guys will have other opportunities elsewhere to play. But yeah, I mean, that's not something I don't think anyone has any hard feelings. That's their decision, and they're able to do that.